Now let's send the request. Now the request will come to WireMock and it will forward it to the actual service. From actual service, it will take the response and come to the WireMock and it forward to me. At the meantime, WireMock will create the stub for you. Now let's stop the recorder here. If I stop, it shows 1 captured. Now if you go to the pings folder, here you will see it created a file for me. Okay, then let's say if I open this one, now you can see it created one mapping with the ID, the name, a request to this particular path. The method is a get request. So this is the request information. So you need to match the URL for this particular path. It should be a get request. Then the response object is here. Hello my dear friends, welcome back to QA Bro, your favorite YouTube channel. And today also I'm back with another video. So if you can remember, last week we were exploring WireMock, the solution for your all mocking problems, where you can easily create all these stubs and play with all these API testing. There we show that there were 2 options, open source one and the cloud one. So last week we were exploring the cloud solution, but unfortunately, though it had many features, you should buy a license. The free license is only for a short period of time. But don't worry, there is the other option as well, the open source one, the standalone process. So where you can run this in locally instead of doing this cloud. Not all the features are available on open source, but the main features which are required for creating all these stubs and which are needed for your API testing with mock servers for these mockings, all these related features are available with the open source one as well. So let's deep dive into more onto this open source solution today. In the open source solution also there are different options you have. Either you have the Java SDK or using Gradle, Kotlin, all these options are available based on your language. So you can select the mesh machine option and also a Docker option is also there. But today I will select this standalone option where you can simply download the jar file to your local machine and then using Java, a flag with jar, then simple you need to pass the jar file. So I hope you know these things, how to run a jar file. And then easily you can run a server on your local host. So using this also you can easily work with creating all these stubs and testing your APIs. And for the next week, I will keep this Java SDK part. So then we have covered like all the available options. So using Maven or Gradle, easily you can put this to your project. You can easily add the dependencies to your project and then easily you can work with the available APIs, the Java SDK, and then you can easily create the server and then run it and work with these stubs. So let's go with the standalone option today. Trust me, like I started working with WireMock around 7 or 8 years back. At that time, we had only this standalone version. And also, we didn't have this record and playback options or anything. We just had the option to create stubs manually and then run using the standalone jar file locally. We didn't have this Java SDKs or the cloud solutions, nothing. We had only the standalone jar file. And it's actually great to see how WireMock has evolved throughout these years and how it give all these features now to the clients, all these cloud solutions and the SDKs. It's good to see the evolution of a tool like this. So I hope in recent future they will add some AI integrations as well, maybe. Who knows what lies ahead. So let's hope for the best. Okay, for time being, let's go with this standalone. So here using this link you can download the jar file. Once you download it to your local, since there are no other files that's in the folder, it's fine, or else you can create a folder and put this, because there is something special. Then if you go to your command prompt and then if you run this file for the first time, I wanted to show that. Okay, I will keep this here, so then you can check everything. And then let's run the file using Java. I need to add the flag jar and then I need to give the file name WireMock standalone jar. If I run this, keep an eye on the folder. Now you can see it automatically created 2 other folders, 2 empty folders actually. One called with underscores files, and then another folder called mappings. So these folders are useful when you create in these stubs. So in the mappings folder, you can create these stubs where you have the the mappings for the requests, and where you set the responses for each request. So those you can set in the mappings folder. And the files folder can be useful if you, let's say, if you don't put inline responses, or else if you want to save, if there is a big object, so then in that case you can save those responses as a separate file in the files folder, and then you can refer that files for the file path using the mappings here. So I will show those things. Okay, however, once you run this on standalone on your command line, you will see these messages. So now you can see WireMock is started, and here the port number is also shown, port 8080. So if you go to port 8080 now on your local host, let's say localhost, and then port 8080. I will send a request to this now. Now you will get a forbidden message, okay, saying servlet WireMock. So now you know the server is up and running. Then I can go to admin mappings. So two underscore signs and then admin. So using that you can access the admin API on WireMock. And then if you give the path mappings, here you will see all the current stubs. Currently, since we don't have anything here, it's totally zero. But you know now this is up and running. Okay, now let's just try to send a request. So I will use our same the request one, and then our get user. So this path. So I will duplicate this one, and then here, instead of this admin mappings, I will put my path API users, and I will send request. Here I will expect this to fail because there is no matching stub. Okay, now you can see no response could be served as there are no stub mappings. And then if you come back to here also, you will see on the terminal also the message will be printed. There are no stub mappings. Okay, now that was expected because we didn't create any stubs. But now at least we know our server is up and running. So now only thing is like we just need to create these stubs. So here also using the same admin endpoint, you can access the WireMock documentation as well. So you need to go to path admin, then Swagger UI. Here in this endpoint, they have hosted a documentation using the Swagger UI. So here you can see all the available endpoints which you can use with this local host, the standalone version. Yeah, we saw the admin mappings to get all these stub mappings, and also to create, you can use a post request, a delete request as well. Then likewise, there are different other options. If you want to get the mapping by ID, then admin/mappings, then you just need to give the mapping ID. Then we have some requests, admin/requests. Yeah, let's try out one of these as well. So then say I will duplicate this one. Yeah, admin requests. Here you can get some other information as well. So likewise, there are all these different options are available here. And then this is the place where you can do record and playback with your local host. Yeah, record and playback is available with the standalone solution, so it is very easy. So yeah, likewise, there are different options. If you want to shut down the server, you can easily send a shutdown. You can call the endpoint shutdown, and to check version and health, those options are available. You just need to send this request and try. Okay, now let's see how you can do, how to create these mappings. First, I will show you how to do this using the record and playback option. Yeah, record and playback is also available with the standalone solution, so it's easy for you to create all these stubs mappings. For that, you can go to admin/recorder. So then it will start this recorder for you. So now you know how to actually do the recorder and what is the actual behavior behind the recorder, because in last video for the cloud solution I explained this. Here WireMock will work as a proxy at the first time. So then when we set a target URL, let's say our this particular host, so then and I start recording, Now WireMock will work as a proxy, and any request coming to WireMock will be forwarded to this particular URL, and then response will come from there to WireMock, and then it will forward back to ourselves. So, and at that same time, WireMock will save the request and response, and it will create the stub for you. Yeah. So let's do that. So now we just need to use the endpoint only, and then here, yeah, I will duplicate, and here, so without admin full part, only localhost and port, and then I need to call this endpoint, because here from this server we need this particular endpoint path to send the actual response. So we will use the same with WireMock IP over IP and port. Okay. Then if I call this one now, okay, it's correct. So let me check why, because we didn't expect this to happen. Okay, I think it's because I have reached the daily limits. I didn't get the response, but it created two mappings. Those are not needed because it's wrong. We send it to the home page. So yeah, let me go to mappings, and I will clear these unnecessary files. And let's, instead of using this particular path, let's try out something else. Okay, I found another. Okay, I found another free API, this RESTful API.dev. So there are also, we have different endpoints, so we can use one of those. Yeah, so the same thing, we just need to put the actual host here in the recorder, and then start the recording. And then we need to send this endpoint information. Here we have path parameters and some query parameters. So I will extract this part out here, and I will call, yeah, now I will call localhost 8080 with my new path parameters and the query parameters. Now let's send the request. Okay. Now the request will come to WireMock, and it will forward it to the actual service. From actual service, it will take the response and come to the WireMock, and it forward to me. At the meantime, WireMock will create the stub for you. And yeah, now let's stop the recorder here. If I stop, it shows one captured, right? One stub was captured. Now if you go to the mappings folder, here you will see it created a file for me. This one. Okay, then let's say if I open this one, now you can see it created one mapping with the ID, the name, a request to this particular path. The method is a get request. So this is the request information. So you need to match the URL for this particular path. It should be a get request. Then the response object is here. So we have the response status code saved, and the body. Here body is encoded. So these values you will see like this, but don't worry, when it works, it will send the correct data. And then some header data are also there, and some other information like persistent, set to true, those information. So this is a mapping. So this is same as which you did in cloud, where you create the mapping. So this is the matching, where we match a request for its URL part. Other than that, you can add these body parameters, everything here as well. And then this is where we match for this particular request, send this response. So this is one stub. Likewise, you can have multiple stubs inside the same file, or else likewise you can have multiple files and have different stubs as well. Here we send inline response in the, so here that's why I mentioned we have two folders, mappings and files. So in the mappings file is where you create these stubs to have the matching of the request and the response. Then here, since we send the inline response, we didn't use this files folder. But if you want to extract out this response from here and save it as a separate file, then you can use the files. So yeah, I will show that next. So before that, let's test our stub is working correctly. So since we add a new stub to our folder, those things need to be loaded to our jar. So in that case, you need to restart here the server. Otherwise, it won't load. Yeah, unfortunately, still dynamic loading is not supported here. Every time when you create a new stub, add something, then you need to come and restart this standalone jar file. So yeah, I will restart the servers. Okay, now again it's running on 8080. Now if I send the request again, now this time you can see, okay, we have some issues with, yeah, because it was because the server was having HTTPS. Yeah, if you need, you can enable. Okay, now let's see. I will extract this response from the actual server. Then here I will replace this part. Simple as that. Okay, I will replace here. Okay, we need to, yeah, we need to escape these double quotations. So in that case, instead of putting it here, I will create a new file and I will save my whole response here, and I will save this inside the files folder here. Okay, so here I will save as, let's say, yeah, first response dot JSON. Okay, now I save this as a JSON. So now you can see. Then I can use this JSON file to refer the file. So here if you have the parameter key as the body, then you can put inline. But if you have saved this in a separate file, here you need to replace this as well. Here you need to put as body file name. All these things you can refer on the documentation. So documentation is available. And then you can simply refer the file name. So yeah, I will take, I think we have some, yeah, so it will be easy to take the file name here and put, yeah, no need to put this path or anything, just the file name is enough, because WireMock knows all the body files will be saved in the same directory. And again, since we did some changes here, yeah, unfortunately you need to restart the server. Okay, let's see. Okay, and then I will restart it. Yeah, now let's go and send the request again to our local host. Yeah. Now let's check this admin mappings part, because we had only total 0. Now you can see we have one mapping. And here, yeah, we have two mappings because, yeah, we had two files in the mappings folder. Yeah. Now it shows we have two stubs created. Now let's go to our, yeah, request. So localhost 8080, then I will send this path and the query parameters, and now you can see it will serve us with the correct response taken from the file we added. If you need to enable logins, you can pass another the flag here, so called verbose. So if you enable this, yeah, sorry, not two, yeah, one dash, now you can see it will enable all these logins. So then let's send a request again, and then you will see there will be tons of logs will be there. These logs will be useful if you want to debug something. So yeah, but for your testing purposes, after creating these stubs, you can disable verbose, and also this standalone jar you can run as headless mode as well. So then it will be more efficient. Yeah, so then since there is no matching stub, it should fail. But as it does with the cloud solution, it will give you the reason. It says here the URL doesn't match because expected ID to have 10, but we had 11. The same thing will be printed on your terminal or the console as well. So likewise, easily you can debug again with the standalone solution as well. And that's how you can do this using the record and playback option. So other than that, you can create these stubs directly as well. So the only thing, like, you can copy paste one of these objects, save it as a new file. Then this ID part you can remove. ID, UUID things you can remove. You can have only the request and response as well. And then here URLs, body, those things you can add. You can refer the documentation as well. And here also, yeah, for the mappings you can, here, yeah, sorry, where was that? Yeah, admin mappings. Then I will give this ID. Then you can extract out only that particular stub as well. So those things are available here on the Swagger documentation as well, all the endpoints. So yeah, and here the user documentation is also there. So likewise, you can easily work with the WireMock standalone version as well. So yeah, the only drawbacks here I say is like it doesn't have all the features as the cloud solution, but again, you have the enough options, like, yeah, the record and playback is there, you can manually create. And yeah, the other thing is like, yeah, every time you did the change, you need to restart the server. Other than that, yeah, I think this is enough for your day-to-day activities. because it's free. You don't need to pay anything. So easily for free, you can create all your stubs mappings and you can have your own mock server for your testing purposes. Yeah, I think it was a very quick video. I just wanted to show you how you can use this standalone, because the other things like all these the theoretical things and how it works, all these things we have already discussed in our last video. So I just wanted to show you the free option, how to use this standalone Java option, and I showed you how to use the record and playback and how to edit these files and how to save the request separately in a file and how to use these two automatically generated folders at this the folders here, the files folder and the mappings folder. Yeah, so I think that's it for today. Next week we can check out the Java SDK available on the WireMock and we can finish this WireMock series. But still we are on our API testing part. After that we can start with Swagger, because recently we, even though we didn't learn about Swagger, we interact with Swagger like this. Here also we interact with the Swagger UI, which is used for the documentation part. Other than that, there are so many other applications available with the Swagger bundle, which can be used for all your testing purposes. So we can start a fresh series on the Swagger as well. Yeah. So I think we can stop it from here for today. And thanks for watching my videos. Please like, subscribe, and share this with your friends as well. See you next week and happy testing.